Okay, hi again. Welcome to the third video in the series. The second video is certainly concentrating on the hands. It's April now, and I've been practicing my reversing system around the kit for since sort of halfway through January, so about almost 3 months now. And so what I'm going to do today is talk about a couple of ideas I've picked up from focusing on this, but just to sort of show you where I'm at with it now, if you want to compare with the other videos. Got my trusty iPhone metronome. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've got that set to 180 on there. 180 is pretty smooth and relatively easy for me to play now. So what I'm going to do is just stick these earplugs in so I can hear. I'll give you a count in so you can hear what I'm doing, and then I'm going to play a couple of rounds around the kit. Just to remind you, the exercise is really simple. I got it from Virgil Donati's website. I'll put a link at the bottom so you can go and grab yourself a copy of sort of his instructional version of it. And again, these videos are more about how I'm approaching it rather than the exercise itself. But basically, it's 3 hits on the floor tom. Two hits, 2 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits. The pattern is in 7/16, 7/8, whatever you want to call it. And so if you count it, it's 1, 3, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I think on the first video I said it was in 5. It's not. It's in 7. But anyway, so I'm just going to play this through a few times for you, and then I'll just put it in the context of a simple groove so you can see what it sounds like. Bloody hell. Come on, there we go. Okay, so with a groove. So there you can see what that sounds like with a 4/4 beat at 108 beats a minute. I'm finding a couple of things that are quite important to note. If you watch the first video, you'll notice that I've gone back to a more traditional kit setup, and I'm going to give a shout out to a very good British drummer called Russell Gilbrook, who saw my first video and made a couple of comments about it, which at first I didn't really think he got what I was trying to do, and then I kind of sat back and contemplated what he was saying and took on board the advice he gave and kind of made the adjustments. Thing to note: if someone gives you a criticism or a critique and you don't really get it, take your time to mull over what they're saying, because chances are there's some truth in it. And what he was really talking about was it seemed like I was trying to do something deliberately difficult in terms of the move between particularly this tom and my offset floor tom. And that kind of set me thinking. So I've actually gone back to a very standard 5-piece. The only problem is with the way this camera's set up, you can't see the floor tom, but it's here. because the distances are smaller, I felt it was too much of a technical leap at the moment to go between that jump was too much. And also in my head, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, in my head, I see fills around the drums in shapes. So to me this is a U shape. Okay, when I had the toms offset, it didn't work. It just didn't work in my head. That's not that there's anything wrong with it, but just for me it doesn't work. I like the drums quite compact and tight, and so when when I'm thinking of playing, this fill, I think of a U shape, so that if I'm going to play. Thinking of that U there. And so what I decided to do was actually go back to just the standard 5-piece. So I've got pick 10-inch tom, 12-inch tom, 16-inch tom. It's an Orion, Mapex Orion maple. And it's made a difference. It's made a hell of a difference actually. I've been able to apply this much quicker than I thought I was going to. It still needs work. As I said at the start, I'm at the point now where I feel I've got it. Now it's the hard bit. I've got to keep repeating it. And a couple of tips on how I've been doing that. I purchased Mike Mangini's Rhythm Knowledge a couple of years ago. I talked about this in the first video. And I've been looking for a way to condense everything down. Now what I was doing before was practicing this. And then separately. Now I am limited on how much time I can practice. Probably between half an hour and an hour every day, mostly half an hour to be honest. And I like to practice regularly because it keeps my chops in shape. And I enjoy it. So I got to thinking again, how can I condense it and make it more efficient? And so I nicked sort of an idea from Thomas Lang but simplified it, because I'm looking for me, the simpler it is, the more likely I am to do it, and also the more easy it is to apply. I've actually found doing drum fills, because I'm not thinking about hundreds of stickings anymore, I'm now thinking about what I'm going to play, not how I'm going to play it. And so I did something really straightforward. I play my bass drum at the same time as my hands. That's a lot harder than it looks. I still haven't perfected it by a long chalk. What I have noticed, now a couple of things. I mentioned before George Calais' idea of having a leading limb. Left hand, right foot. I am left-handed and right-footed. So I've recently, since January, started leading everything my right foot. It's made a hell of a difference again. I've got more precision. Okay. I feel everything has better time. It sounds more precise, and it feels a hell of a lot easier because I'm not fighting my body anymore. And so when I do this, I'm thinking everything from the left hand, but I synchronize the left, so on that first note, it's left hand and right foot, right hand and left foot. So the leading limbs are playing together and the following limbs are playing together. What I've found is that it's tighter. Rather than if I do the two at the same, left and left, right and right, it's weaker. It's more out of time. I'm going to a slight flam between my right hand and my right foot, whereas if it's not there, if I play the two leading limbs and the two following limbs together, this has helped immensely in my playing, and is extremely efficient. So what I do is I put the recordings on from Rhythm Knowledge, and I play along to, he has a section called Not Quite Double, which is how you count odd time. So I will play along with each recording is 2.5 minutes. So I'll play this exercise and say count 19 over the top. I'll give you a quick example without the bass drum because it'll drown my voice out. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, it's got two main benefits. Counting out loud makes everything more accurate, but also I'm counting a polyrhythm. It's 7/19, which actually, you know, I mean, you're not likely to play that. But the point is that my hand movement becomes automatic, and so I can, you know, eventually sort of play that without really thinking about it. And it's a hard movement to do. Also, the counting distracts me from how long it's taking, so I can sit and play for, you know, half an hour just passes like that. My feet get a workout, my hands get a workout, and this is pretty much the only thing I practice actually. And again, as I said, that focus is kind of bled out into everything else. The other thing I'll do is take he's got an exercise called 2 numbers twice, which is where you play, so for example, 4 to 6, so 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 or 5 to 7. 1 and 2 I'll apply this round here, so 1 difficult, as it's a bit wobbly at the start there. It's easier to do with the recording, but it really helps. So